There's always a lot of controversy as to what is the best substrate for your aquarium. Now, if you look around our store, there's actually different types of substrate in different aquariums. Why is that? Well, we'll get into that in just a second. I'm James, guys, and you're watching Dog Aquatics. I hope you all had a good and safe week. I do apologize we didn't put any out videos last week, but the Midwest kind of got rocked by hurricane level winds. I know, that's weird. Hurricane winds in Nebraska. That's just insane. But, so we spent the week helping others out, getting branches trimmed up and getting their yards cleaned up, because there were a lot of trees and everything and a lot of people out of power. So we wanted to make sure that they were squared away and taken care of. The community is a good part, or a big part of what we do. And so we wanted to help out those in need. So, back to what we were talking about. Substrate, guys, you can go into any store and there are substrates everywhere. Black substrate, white substrate, blue gravel. Oh, I guess those are all gravels. You have pebbles, you have eco-planted substrate, you have activated substrate, you have beta substrate. You even have crystals. Now, what does this all mean for your aquarium? What is the best substrate for your aquarium? Well, that's going to come down to a couple of different things. First off, what are you planning on doing? I mean, everybody has their own look. They want their aquarium to have that little twist, that personal spin that they want to put on it. Whether it's they want to have a couple of rocks in there with one piece of driftwood, or they want to have a glow tank, or they want it to look like a castle or a cave. Everybody has their own designs. Now, when we talk about substrate, it comes down to a couple of different things. First, like we talked about, is what do you want it to look like? Substrate, if you're going for bare bones and fake substrate or fake plants, and you just want that artificial look, then you can get the blue colored gravel and the purple or the rainbow color, and it doesn't matter, because it's not going to change the chemistry of your water. It's just going to be pretty. Now, if you're looking at doing live plants, or you have things that need sand, well, then that changes it, and that gets into what are the fundamentals of what substrate is accomplishing. Now, fluvial stratum is one, the volcanic substrate is actually one of my personal favorites. I actually like to use it because it balances out pH very well. Typically we use it in our nano tanks when we have shrimp or some of our nano species, and overall it just works a lot better. Now, gravel isn't going to break down. It's going to get dirty, but it's never going to break down. If you want to change it, then you're going to have to like pull all of it out and then actually change it. But with volcanic substrate, it actually breaks down. Let's see. Here we go. Clearer vision of it. It's little dirt pellets, and as they break down, so as you do water changes and as you sift, you're going to notice that there's lots of fine dust particles, and that's actually the substrate breaking down. So eventually, mind you, this is 3 years that this substrate's been in here, and it still looks good. So it's not something that you do on a frequent basis, but for your high-tech tanks, most of the time people do thicker layers so that they don't have to mess with it as often. Now, volcanic soil is really good for planted aquariums, because the nutrients that these high-end soils do is they put enrichment into the ground, just like you would put fertilizer in ground for your plants at home or your garden outside. You're trying to put enrichment and the best possible enrichment for your plants. In aquariums, that is no different. We want to make sure that our plants are getting the best enrichment possible. That way they grow and thrive, and nothing says it better than our planted aquarium up here. Look at all that. Look at how full that is. Now, there are so many different types, and so I always tell people to make sure to do your research and make sure that the type of soil that you're putting in is best suited for what you're looking for. So, and then lastly, let's get into sand. Sand has one awesome benefit. It is inert, which means that it has no pros, no cons. It's not going to change the chemistry of the water in any way, whereas volcanic substrate will. It will alter to help better the pH. Inert sand will not do that. It won't alter it at all. So if you have things that are more sensitive, let's say Metallica shrimp or Babalti shrimp or Cardinas, or let's just say you have an oversensitive axolotl or whatever, sand is the way to go. Now, you may ask, James, well, what kind of sand is best? I have actually found that pool sand is actually the best for aquariums. Now, obviously, make sure to read the bag to make sure that there's no additives or treatments or anything like in there. But pool sand is relatively inexpensive, and it works like a charm. Now, we grow out our mosses in here because they're not trying to root into the sand. Same thing, like we put potted plants in here because they're not trying to root into the sand. Will they root? Well, let's cover that now. Let's start with gravel. Will gravel allow plants to root into it? Absolutely 100%, and I will show you. This is jungle val here. Jungle val has runners, and you can see them right there. They hop on top of the soil, go down, put another root, sprout up a new sprout, and then they send off another runner, and then another runner, and then another runner. So 100% gravel can accomplish plants rooting in. Now, with plants that are rooting in, yes, you will have to add some kind of fertilizer because depending on the gravel that you use, it may or may not have components that benefit live plants. Now, when you come over to let's see if I can find it. Where is it at? Where is it at? There we go. Okay, in this tank here we have the volcanic soil. It is amazing because the enrichment that comes from the volcanic soil actually benefits the plants. They have a chance to root in, they have a chance to thrive, and overall it's just a healthier aquarium. Now, there are some plants that can actually root into sand, and that would be jungle val. I swear, there's very little that can actually kill it. That stuff, I have not bought it in 3 years, and it just keeps growing. We just keep moving it to different tanks. But with the right plant, I've noticed that sword plants do better. They have a better chance of rooting into sand. Stem plants tend to, like Rotella indica, they have a harder time rooting into sand, and that's just my personal experience. So that's typically why we don't root anything, or we don't put anything that needs to be rooted into a sand tank. But guys, I just wanted to cover a couple of different bases on what is the best substrate for your aquarium. And again, this all breaks down to what is best and what are you looking for. What type of aquarium are you trying to set up? What do you want the overall look to be? Are you doing live plants? Are you doing fake plants? This is going to determine what is the best substrate for your aquarium. There is no right, no wrong answer when it comes to what's the best substrate. If you're doing fake plants, it doesn't matter what your substrate is. If you're doing live plants, I recommend the volcanic substrate. I had a brain fart there for a second. If you are just bare bones and you have sensitive fish and you need a substrate that's inert, pool sand. Check it out. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do apologize this video came out late. I was going to do it this morning, but then I realized that my lights don't come on first thing in the morning. It's almost till now. But as always, guys, thank you so much to all new subscribers. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like, that subscribe. Look at that cute Fleeko. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. We will see you guys next time.